Hello, hello, friends. This is Yonks with TokenSummitDAO, and we are coming live for today. We're just focusing on our tokenomics conversations. And I have said, we'll continue to say on the record and off the record, when it comes to tokenomics, and especially when I'm involved in the issuance of a token, I will also not be involved in any liquidity for that token unless we're talking about a security token path to market. And that's one of the things that we're going to be going into during our actual token summit. We've carved out on the 23rd to talk about real estate tokens, security tokens, and social tokens. And anyway, we're here today to talk about the tokenomics a little bit anyway, and we'll probably have more conversations specifically regarding the tokenomics for TokenSummitDAO. And with me today on the live stream, we've got some of our other Genesis team members, including Mrs. Yonks, D-Sign, White Hat, and Julie. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being available on short notice. And again, does anybody want to chime in some thoughts before we just get right into the meat of the conversation today as far as the tokenomics? Because I do a lot of the talking. I would love to hear some other thoughts before I talk to some myself today. Don't everybody, oh, there's Mrs. Young's chiming in. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, for anybody in the audience who's not familiar with what tokenomics are, can you do a quick recap on that? And want to make sure that people understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's not an easy topic to just provide a summary on. And I think that this is one of the things that tends to get overly complicated. And when I say overly complicated, like the opportunity for us to spend potentially more time in TokenSummitDAO talking about tokenomics than actual conversations as far as creating a solid virtual summit event. So that's one of the things that I think, much to my dismay, is that there's more thoughts on the tokenomics. And one of the things that I think that we, the Web3 ecosystem at large, needs to do a better job at is keeping things simple. Because when you go back to like trading shells as a form of currency, and there's been all kinds of different things. And what's that one book that I really like? Not the one book, because there's a whole lot of books on trading things for money. And my favorite one related to the crypto niche is the Bitcoin Standard. And I've got D-Sign with the hand raised, and I would love to hear some thoughts from D-Sign on this topic as well.
I can just try and provide a quick, short and simple explanation for tokenomics.
That'd be great.
So the way I like to think about tokenomics is that a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization, and they need a system for them to coordinate people and incentivize like a bunch of random people that don't know each other to do something. And they also need capital for their treasury. So your tokenomics solves this by giving you something that you can give to other people as an incentive, with the promise that it'll be worth either governance in the protocol, like they'll have some voting say with their token, or maybe even the token is worth something in the secondary market at some point down the line. But there's never a promise like that unless it's explicitly stated.
Cool, that's perfect. Does anybody have anything to add to that, or just want to just move into the actual tokenomics on that?
No, and I think that that's a very easy, because I think the easier that we can do to, because again, we can get really complicated, and I do want to potentially use some creativity here, because the opportunity of, like one of the things that I am really excited about is using NFTs as a vehicle for representing, because like here at Token Summit, we're focused obviously on launching a virtual summit, but the opportunity as when we deliver successfully on that, the opportunity of branching out potentially into other product areas within Token Summit, like how to run, like we could literally create a book, how to successfully launch a virtual summit, that could be an NFT type of book. And then that might be another profit center. And one way to represent that profit center might be that an NFT represents that business or that product or that project, however you want to categorize that. And that's just kind of me thinking out loud. And one of the reasons here that we're wanting to come to a decision, hopefully through the course of today, maybe even this meeting, on the quantity and the blockchain network for doing our ERC20 token. And the reason for that is it's simple. Now, the opportunity to potentially, like I said, get more creative with like using NFTs, and like we're talking about sponsorship situations here, and there might be some type of sponsorship NFT where we could potentially bundle in some tokens within that, or doing different types of things. And I don't really, I'm newer to like NFTs as far as what type of utility that they can provide, but that's one of the things that I would really like us to get creative on. But going back to the immediate need at hand is right now we are planning on launching this TokenSummitDAO as a subsidiary DAO of Triple Win Foundation, which is also going to be governed via ERC20 tokens. And the reason that we need right now to have the ERC20 token, or it doesn't have to be an ERC20, that's just the most industry standard social token or token that is exchanged, whatever the case may be, on the market today. And with the plan that we have at hand to make this a legal entity under Wyoming DAO LLC, the opportunity to have our smart contract in place for our token, that means that we won't have to go through a process of updating our articles of organization with the Wyoming Secretary of State later on. So that's just to kind of provide a little additional backstory with why that we're wanting to come up with the number of tokens and then the blockchain. And I think I would love to put it out here, but based upon where the industry is at today, my vote is for a Polygon ERC20 token. So I would love to hear some thoughts or objections, or yay, that sounds awesome, from anybody else. But all of the other social tokens that I've been involved with, the issuance of our Polygon ERC20 tokens.
How's the gas on Matic? Is it still cheap, or is it rising, or are there any other L2 chains that we need to look at, or is Polygon still really cheap?
Well, like, since we're live streaming here and all of us on here are involved with Retoken, why don't we just actually bring up, and here is the, like, this is kind of one of the ways that I manage all of the serial entrepreneur, or hurricane, I think is the label that Mrs. Yonks has been calling it. But I'll show you right here real quick, because with Retoken, and we minted our ERC20 token with Retoken on Coinvice. I'm not necessarily advocating that we do that here for TokenSummitDAO. I do like some of the benefits that provides, because they do provide a easy to use airdrop that provides just one more social proof as far as from a transparency. But I'd love to hear some other thoughts, and I'll show you to specifically answer your question, because I think that we started out the Retoken with 2 Matic, and I'm just grabbing the hot wallet password here, which is MetaMask. So we started out this account with 2 Matic, and like let's actually just real quick go to the Polygon scan, so you can see the token tracker here for retoken. And you can see here on the Polygon scan, we've done 473 transfers, and we have 55 holders of this token. So you can see here what the transfers have looked like historically speaking. And I do need to get caught up on some airdrops with retoken with some recent coordinates, but that's another conversation. So it's very affordable, and like you can see how much mileage that we've gotten out of less than 0.6 of a Matic to conduct the airdrops over there. And like 1 Matic, I think, is number go up, number go down, like to less than $3 per Matic.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
So anybody else have any thoughts? And you know, things could look very differently 6 or 12 or 18 months down the line, getting ready to do a live stream coming up here with ZK-DAO. That I think that snapshot proposal just hit BitDAO, and that could be a pretty exciting, because I think some of the scalability issues with Polygon are the same scalability issues that happen with Ethereum, if I understand the architecture correctly. And I think that ZK Sync provides a more scalable architecture, but I haven't gone too much down that. And it's just that there's not the maturity yet within that. There's so many tools right now on Polygon and that are being built on Polygon. So I think it's and at the end of the day, like, if we wanted to change course in like reissue, it wouldn't be something that I would like to do, but that's one of the opportunities that we would have if things change substantially, is that we could you know, reissue a different token down the road if it made sense to provide more utility.
Okay, so next question is the number, or do we have something else?
Yeah, the number, and then we had a little bit of conversation, and let me enable streamer mode here real quick on Discord. So we love doing best practices, and here in Discord under my user settings, we're going to turn on streamer mode. There we go. So going over here to the TokenSummitDAO Discord, we had a little bit of very, very basic conversations. I mean, this Discord server is super fresh. Thank you to DSign and OX Animal for what they've done to initially set this up. I was talking about doing 222 trillion, which has a lot of zeros in it. And then White Hat responded with 222 millions. I'm pretty indifferent, because we, again, have the opportunity of getting more creative here. And then we also have Triple Win Foundation, which we currently have distributed 0 tokens for, and that was originally minted with 10 million. And that one already does exist on a snapshot right now. Let's see. I don't think that I've actually updated the articles of organization to reflect the what's it called, algorithmically managed, but we do have on 3win.eth here. So if everybody wants to join that, and I'll put this link, or I'll try to remember to put the link in here. So like, we don't even have any, because like one of the things, and this is something that we'll itemize as a talking point specifically, but one of the proposals that wanting to create in Token Summit. And then the other thing that we need to look at too is right now the TokenSummit.eth for this TokenSummitDAO sits here in the Gnosis safe, and I think that would be fine as far as sitting here. We probably need to update a few things, and again, that's something that we can take and talk more about in the working group. But going back to the quantity is, I'm okay with 222 million just going out with the full numeral for deuces galore, if you will, just to lean into the 222.22 fully.
I think 22 million is a better number because it's more manageable. I don't know. I guess 222 is fine, but I think 22 is just a good number.
It's just one more zero at the end of the day there. So
I know it's just it started getting confusing with OpenDAO. I think they issued 100 trillion tokens. So people were like, I've got 5.6 billion tokens, and I've got like 300 million tokens, and I mean it, and then you figure out that that's like $80. I mean, it's just what.
yeah, and the biggest thing is it's just a number, and I think with tokenomics, the biggest consideration is that we need to do things consistently. So like if we're talking about incentivizing participation, like us being here right now, or, you know, like one of the things I'm really wanting to do mostly is use Coordinate. And I don't think that Coordinate should be the only solution. And, you know, that's really where we have to get into, I think, the more substance of the tokenomics conversation. Like right now, the number is, again, whether it's 222 million, like I can appreciate paring down 6 zeros from the 222 trillion. So, you know, I'm pretty flexible with this, because I think it's more important right now with where we're at to decide on the number and then move forward as far as having the conversations on the substance. Because, you know, 1 + 1 0 or plus 6 zeros or plus 4 zeros or whatever. So.
Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Welcome, White Hat. We'd love to hear some thoughts from you on this one.
All right. So let's do this. Can I share my screen?
Absolutely. And I will stop sharing mine. Over to you, my friend.
Okay. So, okay.
Hey, welcome, Alex Animal. Just saw you jumped in, and thanks for all your work on the Discord with Design. We appreciate it.
I think I am sharing my screen. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, this is an example. Did anyone say anything?
I was just confirming that we can see your screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Yeah. So this is an example of tokenomics. How tokenomics, the tokens should be distributed in different segments from the total amount, total supply. So what we are looking at is we're gonna determine it's total amount, total supply doesn't really matter, as I agree with that analysis, as Jason has said, or even Taylor has suggested. The total amount of token really doesn't really matter, but what matters is percentage. So total amount of percentage. So if we are doing some public fundraising, what's the implications of it, and how we can allocate the total amount of token supplies? And that is the question, and how you can simulate those and put into in a perspective where it's adequate for the token to project to function properly. So let's look at what other people have done so far. So we are looking into starter token. It's on the Binance Smart Chain, and there's also in the Polygon. So I suggest that because it is going to be later on, will be traded in the market. So what we want to do is the scalability and the affordability of the token people can trade on into different platforms. So there is 2 options. Either way, we can go for Binance Smart Chain, which I do not suggest personally because too many spams. A lot of people, but it's also good for businesses because there are a lot of people in the space. So Binance Smart Chain and Polygon. Polygon is a fairly new network. in the market, does have a fair amount of followers, but not as much as Binance. So it depends on which platform we are targeting. What's the target market, our target market going to be? So what sort of people are?
Hey, White Hat. Hey, sorry to interrupt you. One of the things that we want to be pretty careful of is we don't want to talk about anything that's securities related, which when we start assigning values and trading the tokens and all that, that starts getting into some security stuff. We're not going to be able to really get into that until we have our broker dealer and the rest of our partners in place for securities law. So I think, sorry, I've got Brooks Toy going off in the background. All that stuff, all your points are really important and well heard. We're just not able to do them yet because of US securities law.
Are we going to be able to allocate percentage of different, let's just say it's going to be vesting, it's going to be private sales or public sales, or
that's the thing.
Allocation.
I don't think that we're going to be having any conversation as far as sale with regards to our token. I anticipate that this project will be funded because we're going to be providing a product to market, and then we can have some type of distribution methodology where, like, for somebody being a customer of that, they could potentially receive a token, or like and then like with the sponsorship. But when you talk about like exchanging because like one of the other things too that I'm expecting that we can do is do some type of proposals for grant funds. And besides, I believe that with where we're at, the ability to deliver ticket sales and receive funds from a minimum viable product, which is our virtual summit, which we're planning to deliver here in like 4 weeks and some change. So I don't think that anything and even if we weren't looking to have a summit that was delivering value, with where our posture is at regarding creating tokens and then like doing some type of sale, we believe that that would put us in securities violations, and that's something that as issuers of this social token that we definitely don't want to have any potential confusion. And that's why I'll always go, and it's not just the establishment of the liquidity, but like when you're talking about exchanging some token for some price, I think that that would fall again within the issuance of a unregistered security.
But would you be able to open to the discussion of percentage-wise allocation?
Oh, for sure. And I think that there's like, because one of the things that we need to put forward is like a percentage allocation for future events, whether that's like, and we've already proposed running this virtual summit 3 times a year, which would be like just looking forward 4 months from now would be 6/22/22, and then 4 months forward from that would be 10/22/22. So like allocating some type of consistent, like a percentage allocation, whether it's like saying, okay, for this window, we're going to allocate 10% of our token pool. And one that I think that we should look at, and they had an even harder time, is the tokenomics surrounding Spork DAO. A lot of us that are on this call, or that we people that we know tightly within our community with like Retoken, are planning to come to Ethereum Denver. Spork DAO is the DAO that will own Ethereum Denver and the event production. So like they did some tokenomics surrounding that, and since that's an event, the opportunity to potentially borrow some strategies regarding our tokenomics specifically here. And to be clear, like one of the things that we also have with the way that we're structuring the entities here is that this token summit is, and let me share my screen here real quick so that because it's a little easier to have a better appreciation. And this is on the retoken Gitbook, is this Figma graph over here. And it always seems to look better on the tweet image. So let me bring that open. And this is a tweet that I sent out back in November. And here's the image that I was talking about here. So like where Token Summit is just one of these. So the opportunity for like us, because like one of the things that already planning on doing is doing a revenue share split with like we're talking high level 80. Oh wait, I didn't start this screen share. So I'm talking to a screen that you all are not seeing. Apologies, everybody. So again, like we're here in this little orange bubble right now talking about tokenomics for Token Summit. And this is functionally going to be the first project or independent DAO out of this Triple Win Foundation. So like when we're talking about doing and this isn't something that we finalized, but it's something that been consistently talking about here in Token Summit, like doing an 80-20 upsell split. And what we're talking about like that is we're wanting Token Summit to be a free virtual event, but we're planning on creating like literally probably 30 to 60 hours worth of content within this 3-day summit. And it might even be 100+ hours. Who knows how much content is going to be generated within this? Far more content than a normal person could consume within a live format. 3 days almost is just too much for me. And like, this is one of the things that, so anyway, we're talking about, and again, this isn't set in stone. We're still having these conversations, but we're talking about doing an 80-20 split where like any partnered community, whether it's a DAO or an NFT collection or whatever the case may be, that says, hey, we love what you guys are about here at TokenSummitDAO. We want to allow our community to plug into this event. So we're talking about providing a dynamic where that partnered community would get 80-20 split, like 80% of any upsells that occur, they would receive the majority of that revenue. So we believe that that would be a no-brainer. And then that other 20%, we're talking about doing a 10% split with Token Summit and the other 10% with Triple Win Foundation, so that we can create a solid dynamic that can also be utilized for leveraging some of these or bringing forward some of these other projects to market much more quickly. So the opportunity like here, when we're talking about the tokenomics for Token Summit, we can also think about incorporating, because I already mentioned that we have.
Jason.
Go ahead, White Hat.
I was going to say that you're supposed to show us the tokenomics of an example of other projects.
Oh yeah, like let's go take a look real quick at, and this is something that we can all research offline. Sporkdao.org is the, and I'll link this up in the Zoom chat here for everybody as well. Sporkdao.org is the DAO and the tokenomics. They've got a fairly detailed tokenomics here. And this is one, they operate under a limited cooperative association. Not going to go off on a tangent about that right now, but it'll be exciting to see what stuff comes forward out of ETH Denver regarding regulation and entities. So you can see right here, introduction to SporkDAO, and this is what I was just talking a little bit about. Right now, we're planning on doing a Wyoming DAO LLC. We believe that that's a simpler vehicle, and we really like what Wyoming is doing as far as really leaning into crypto in a big way, as far as a lot of regulations that they're putting forward. And with Colorado, which is directly south of Wyoming, it'll be interesting to see how Colorado delivers. So this is something the SporkDAO, and they broke down as far as like, because the other, besides the like the sponsors for that, for the event, because that's another revenue opportunity. Because like one of the things that I want to do here for our team is put together like a coordinate, like let's say we're talking about receiving 2,200 Matic from Retoken, assuming that that proposal passes, and it's already got strong signals that it will, and it's only got like 30, like a day and a half to finish voting. So that's an opportunity where we can take that and use Coordinate, and like, instead of just saying, okay, within Coordinate you'll get just a pile of social tokens, the opportunity to take some of these proceeds that we get and say, okay, well, we're going to have this pool of Matic or whatever in addition to the social tokens that we're going to be creating here. And then, like, also we're going to have speakers. So and this is one of the things, the tokenomics here, and I think that there's a more detailed tokenomics, and let me see if I can find it. So it's talking about the supply and distribution in this Medium article. So they had 528 million. And this is just to put things into perspective for you, Tyler, as far as some numbers. And again, 1-0 doesn't make that big of a difference. It's just a number, and you just adjust it accordingly. And let me link up this article here in the Zoom chat for everybody. So this is, and one of the things that they did that was kind of clever was they actually minted their token on mainnet, and then they bridged it entirely over to Matic just because of so it's functionally operates or exists on Matic, even though it's underlying a Ethereum mainnet token. This isn't something that I really feel provides a whole lot of value where we're at today, because just to mint like the cost of minting, it's I think pretty expensive. I think it's like $1,500, and it just depends on what that smart contract that you're using for minting. So that's why I think just doing a native Matic token makes the most sense with where we're at right now. So this is something that I would encourage everybody, because I'm not expecting that we're going to have everything finalized. The biggest thing that we come to, in my opinion, today is the blockchain that we're going to use, and which we talked about using Matic, Polygon here, and then the quantity, and whether it's 22 million or 222 million or 222 trillion, I'm really indifferent, but I would like to just have that number so that we can cross this off the list as far as one thing, and then we can have that number to, because like what White Hat was saying, figuring out some percentages as far as like from a pie standpoint, where like maybe say, hey, 5% of this pie is reserved for sponsors, and and then if that doesn't get allocated, then the opportunity to put that in, so that's, again, more questions that we can answer here throughout the course of this conversation. But the sooner that we get some general framework on like those pie numbers, I think the better off that we'll be.
Yeah, 222 million is fine. The other thing that I wanted to remind everybody is that, assuming that this conference goes well and everybody's interested in doing it again, this same token will be our token for further conferences, and either indefinitely or until we just decide to stop running them. So this isn't just the tokenomics for this one event.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing that in here. In this paragraph, let me make this bigger right here on the Spork DAO for ETH Denver. I'm going to highlight this one right here. Spork allocations will be split between a historical distribution that covers the previous 4 years of ETH Denver events and future distributions to cover at least the next 10 years of community activities. So they in their tokenomics, and this is one of the things that I think that I don't know if we necessarily need to plan out 10 years in the future as far as from an allocation standpoint, but maybe the next 10 virtual summits that we host, and if we do one every 3, because my expectation is that we're going to have a profit center here that will be a really strong profit center, because like I think that ETH Denver, the way that they monetize their event is they provide a free event, but then they have a lot of paid sponsors. So like besides the potential paid sponsors that we have, the opportunity of doing this NFT ticketed event where we provide the replays and just really focus on, like, I really believe that our Discord can be kind of like an alpha melting pot, and just provide a really strong, community and platform agnostic dynamic. So it'll be interesting to see where we go with this, but we've got some case study here, at least one. I don't know if there's some other case studies, but I do like the Spork DAO because it's close to home, and it's just to provide a little true story here for you all. That was my first POAP that I got, was a Spork DAO POAP.
Okay, so we can do some math on this. We can create a pie. So the token is not being traded. That's fine. So we can allocate something for the treasury, and that treasury is undefined in terms of what it's going to be used for in the future terms, but it's a treasury. So we can put that treasury out of that can be, given to use for various different purposes, and we can take that conversation offline. But in terms of, in general terms, you have a team. So what's going to be the team allocations? What's going to be development allocation, further development of the project? What's going to be allocations as far as goes partnership, if you have a partnership or mutual development or joint collaboration with other people, other projects, incubators or incubation, like you have spent money to create these, and that has cost you some money. What would be your compensation for that? And then the rest of it, and then you have to do advertising and marketing. So how much token will be allocated for advertising, marketing? So these are the questions we should be asking, not in terms of value, monetary value, price, rather percentage-wise allocation. And so that's going to be total amount. We deduct those, and rest of it goes to the treasury. And that treasury is going to be the biggest chunk. And that treasury can be, in the future, can be used for various different purposes. And depends on how the community feels and how it can be used. Needs to have further discussion on that. I think that's a better way to start things.
To just re-echo that, and to summarize the tokenomics conversations, and I absolutely agree with what you're saying there, White Hat, because the more that we can have a well thought out tokenomics and that makes sense, the easier it will be to be like, yeah, these things have been well thought out by the team that we have here. And this is also something we're very open and inviting. We love hearing additional perspectives, and we're just getting started here with TokenSummitDAO, and we're working on creating a virtual event that will be fabulous, fun for people to participate in. So I want to be I think, to summarize where we're at here, we're agreeing on Matic. It sounds like 222 million, just roll out the deuces on that full decimalization just for fun, to really amplify International DAO Day on 2/22/22, and then create again sustainable, because I love hanging out and love meeting, and the space changes so fast, I think. And I think that we're going to learn a lot here in a very short period of time. So the other thing that we need to decide on is the token symbol, and because between now and I'll probably save. And does anybody have any minting platform that we should use? Because I would really like to get this token minted during our working group here tonight, and would love to hear some thoughts. The other thing too, I'm going to just go to CoinMarketCap here real quick, because I was thinking with TokenSummitDAO, just do a TSD. Let's see what other things show up on a TSD. It looks like true seigniorage dollar. That was the only thing that I found. Let's look here too.
How about TDAO?
Like, let me go back here. TDAO?
Yep.
Or what about TSDAO?
Yep.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't think there is a TS though.
I would hope not. I like that.
Yeah, sounds great.
Is there a summit?
That's a good question. There is a Summit DeFi.
Is it on Polygon or is it on a different network?
I don't know.
Looks like it's on Phantom. Jason, if you look at the previous screen, you can see what networks the contract is on.
This one here.
Yeah, if you look on the left.
Oh yeah, I see.
So is that Phantom only or Phantom as the main one?
I think it's on Phantom only.
Okay, so Summit's not on Polygon. Do we want to grab Summit or want to grab TSDAO?
I like TSDAO, I think, better. And then there wouldn't be any confusion with the Summit DeFi.
Yeah.
So TSDAO, 222 million on Polygon. Is that what we're agreeing? Because the goal, and now the goal is to actually, I would like us to mint this on our working group tonight, and instead of using, have you looked, DSign or White Hat, do you have any good resources for minting on Polygon?
Can Coinbase do
Yeah,
it?
we can. Go ahead, Desan.
Coinbase, yeah, Coinbase can, and I like using Coinbase. I think that if we wanted to do any type of delegation, I don't think that we can do that on, because it's not a what do you call it? An Open Zeppelin compatible that provides delegation capability. There was
We can deploy it on the remix.
what's that?
We can
Oh,
deploy
yeah,
on the
yeah.
remix. Yeah, easy.
Are you talking about the remix in browser?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can connect with the MetaMask wallet with Polygon, and you just have to have a simple code. It doesn't have to be complicated because it's going to be used for governance or whatnot.
Does it provide delegation capability?
You mean that can it be added into the snapshot voting? Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah. So like, I think it's the Open Zeppelin.
Any ERC20 token will be able to do that. I do not know
Well,
if
like,
snapshot.
Like
I do know if
the token that we
snapshot
minted
allows.
on Coinbase doesn't have that capability. It doesn't support the governance mechanism.
Yeah, I am not so sure actually, because I would
Not sure
hope
about the
so.
delegation part. excuse me, they might have an interface that you can extend for the delegation part.
Yeah, so the snapshot only allows the Ethereum token, isn't that right? I could be wrong on that.
No, snapshot provides a lot of flexibility as far as where the token is, but like
No, which
here,
network?
you mean as far as the delegation?
No, if it's if we launching deploying the token contract into Polygon, would you be able to use that for voting purposes into the snapshot, via snapshot rather?
Yeah, I mean, you can use the blockchain is but it's like the smart contract has to have the like looking here at like ENS, the way that their smart contract is for their token, it has the capability of delegating so that you can delegate to other people, and that normally results in a higher voter turnout if you have some type of capability of delegating. And I thought that this would be a fun way to get some experience with potentially utilizing the delegation, because that's one of the challenges is getting voter turnout. And, you know, like, especially in a project like this, where we might distribute a lot of our tokens, because I could easily see, you know, distributing tokens for people that get like an upsell, for example, just as a patron type of social token reward. So the opportunity of potentially getting a lot of tokens distributed, and then like it's unrealistic for people to like participate actively, and that's where the delegation benefit really comes into play on the smart contract. And if you don't have that, then you basically would have to upgrade to a smart contract that has that later. I'll take this offline, because there was a site that I don't know if I can find it right now, that allows the minting, that has that capability, and I'll bring that up on our working group here tonight. The other thing, and this was not necessarily related to the tokenomics specifically, but this is the Ethereum safe for Triple Win Foundation. And right now, this holds the ENS for Token Summit. So it is related to this conversation, because this is another opportunity for us to utilize some best practices, going back to this conversation here, where Triple Win Foundation, especially having success with Token Summit, and then I already mentioned Invest 100 Club, which is wanting to spin up here in March. I don't know if this will necessarily be a profit center for Triple Win Foundation, but going back to this, establishing some working best practices, because one of the immediate opportunities after getting our ERC20 token minted is getting the ENS set up so that we can get our snapshot space set up, so that we can start doing some initial governance here within our DAO, which is definitely something that want to have a consistent mechanism for using some of the best practices that we've already familiar with. And this is one additional opportunity of doing some ENS management through a Gnosis multi-sig safe, and again, you know, with plans of having more of this type of a dynamic in Triple Win Foundation. So just putting that out there for some food for thought. But going back to bring this conversation here to a wrap today, because we've got our planned working group coming up here in, what is that, like 4.5 hours? Is that correct, Tyler?
Yeah, if I can chime in here for a quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just looked into its snapshot only supports L1, which is Ethereum mainnet I think. So if we are going to use snapshot, so we're going to have to use any ERC20 tokens, and that's going to have to be deployed into Ethereum mainnet in order for us to use that for voting purposes.
Not for maybe for the delegation, but definitely not for voting, because like over here, Retoken is an ERC20 token on Polygon, and we definitely use that. And since we're here, this is the one that have spoken about a little bit that has a direct impact for us right here. See, Virtual Summit, TokenSummitDAO. So this is definitely a strategy here, is using the Retoken on the Polygon network. So we absolutely can use snapshot with the L2 ERC20 token. Now the delegation component, that may be the Ethereum mainnet, like an L1 instead of an L2 dynamic.
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
During the hackathon, I attended the Mint.io conference. So I don't know if we can check that out and see if the NFT you want to mint could be done there.
Well, we're right now we're just talking about the ERC20 token, and to keep things simple, I have no problem just doing this one on Coinvice. I've already spoken about the value proposition of doing, and I think that the conversation regarding the NFT right now, the top choice that we're looking at for facilitating our virtual summit ticketed event is Unlock Protocol. And that's something that we've already got the technical capability and the know-how to deploy that. Now, that being said, this conference may bring additional opportunities to provide more options, but the easier that we can keep it for our partnered communities and the more turnkey that we can make it, the easier off everybody will be, because that's one of the things that this industry can happen really quick, is overcomplicate, scope creep, et cetera, and then it becomes unmanageable. So I guess let's just go with Coinvice. That's a known variable. I mean, there's absolutely an opportunity with Coinvice for them to potentially be a partnered community and or a sponsorship. They are a VC-backed startup, and you know we're right here in their wheelhouse with known experience. So the opportunity, and this is the kinds of conversations that we'll be having throughout this, as far as like how that we can bring these partnered communities into what we're building here and get a very solid agenda lined up. Because let me actually bring this here. This is our Notion space on Triple Win Foundation, and this is the workspace for TokenSummit.xyz. We'll be talking more about the Token Summit and all the work that DSign. I've contributed a little, but DSign has done more of the heavy lifting. But we do have a functional WordPress multi-site in place already. And right now the plan is to set up a with Retoken and Token Town. Those will be the first partnered communities that we'll have deployed here on our WordPress multi-site. Go ahead, Tyler.
Jason, can you show the actual WordPress site? I think it's pretty cool. And
no, they're gonna have to come to the working group tonight to see, and that'll give some more time for some finishing touches on the sample page. It's a secret. Not really. You want me to show it? Yes, no?
I don't know if it's ready yet.
all right, well,
see, we're both saying not. We'll have some more time between now and later.
I've seen the secret passageway, and I think it looks great. So I'm super excited to add some more to it, and I'm excited about how fast you got that done. And shout out to Design for spending a bunch of time figuring out some back end stuff that he wasn't familiar with. So you did great. Super excited about it.
Thanks. I'm gonna make some more edits to it before we go live today. In like 4
Yeah,
hours.
we've got a lot of stuff here and so tonight, besides the unveiling of the Token Summit XYZ site that's still very much a work in progress, we're also going to be minting our ERC20 token and maybe even spinning up the Wyoming DAO here. So we've got a lot of stuff planned. We've got a 2-hour working group tonight, and excited to be building this at breakneck speed here for Token Summit 2022 is right around the corner. It's January 18th today. So that's like literally almost a month away. So we've got so much to do, but it's so exciting. And it's going to be fun. That's the most fabulous thing. I love hanging out with you all, having fun, learning as we go, learning so much so quickly, but still so much still to learn. Any final thoughts? I feel good. We've got some decisions. We've got the quantity. We've got the L2 Polygon Matic. We're going to just mint it here on the live stream tonight, and then we'll be getting and we'll be working on the agenda here too. So for tonight, and then anybody have some final thoughts before we call this first tokenomics? And we'll probably have more tokenomics conversations, but this one was important so that we could move forward with the establishment of our legal entity, TokenSummitDAO LLC, a Wyoming DAO LLC, and we'll be able to get that all lined up here tonight, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, Jason, this is Amy again. I have requested Shu and Ling to just make a POAP for every meeting that we have towards the Token Summit. So I might present that to you before I make it, spread it to everyone.
I've seen some of OX Animal's work on the POAP, so if you want to feel free to take a whack at something here for Token Summit DAO for us, be our guest. My creativity as far as making good POAPs is very limited, and I would rather not be left to my own devices on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, we've already been on this live stream for right around an hour. Thank you so much, everybody, for hopping on here. This is an important conversation. This conversation is far from over, but we do have some agreed upon item where we can mint our token and get a legal entity in place, and then start doing all the things. We're already doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and we've got a lot more to go, but we're moving along and getting things done and having fun. So any other final thoughts? I'm going to do the visual cue here, and then we'll call it a wrap here when this comes down, if somebody has anything else to say. All right, we'll catch up with everybody later that's able to make it. Thanks again for Tokenomics, our first working group at Token Summit DAO. More to come. Going to have a fabulous 2022. Thanks, everybody.